Welcome back. All right, so 4 games in the NHL tonight. 2 early starts, 2 later starts, and some craziness. So maybe scoring's going up, or maybe it's just Arizona and Seattle. We'll see, right? And by that I mean they didn't do a very good job of keeping the puck out of their net tonight. We'll get into this. This is just it's alarming. And I'll talk about it, but when a team is tanking, it's still nice to see them play well. So lose well, if that's a term. Where you go, yeah, they lost, but hey, they're giving it their all, and we know it's a rough year, but yeah, it was still a pretty good game. All right, starting off with Toronto and the New York Rangers. So it was Shesterkin versus Campbell, and honestly, the big news was that Austin Matthews was in, and Austin Matthews had a good game. He just ran into a really hot goaltender in Shesterkin, who came into today with good numbers, and I'm going to go ahead and claim that his numbers got better after tonight. I think they were .935 coming in. I'm thinking that his save percentage a little bit better after this game. Just guessing. So there was an early Leafs power play at 1 minute and 9 seconds. You got Matthews in there. The Leafs getting opportunities, getting that first chance. Matthews had one that was saved. It's killed off, but there's 2 shots. So good-looking power play for Toronto, but it's going to be a topic of conversation soon enough if it doesn't really start getting going. And from what I understand, tonight's result, a lot of it has to do with Nick Ritchie. It's, again, with Toronto, I always find it interesting to see with the fan base who is the one that tonight they're pointing the finger at. And again, being a Canuck fan, hey, it happens every Canuck game too. It's often somebody different, but Ritchie seems to be the one tonight. Blaine throwing hits. The Rangers started picking it up at that point. Lundqvist ends up hitting the post. He was in the lineup tonight with Jared Tenorti pulled out. Lundqvist, I thought, played well. Pressed by the Leafs at 8 minutes, and at the half, the Leafs are up 4-3 in shots. Dermott and Hunt get kind of unfriendly. It's Dryden Hunt there. Campbell then denied Gauthier, and it looked like on a turnover, Zibanejad hit the post. But it was pretty obvious as soon as they showed the first replay. Oh, that's not the post. That's the back of the net. That went off the camera at the back of the net. So at 13 minutes and 50 seconds or 13:49, it's one or the other. I've seen both. Zibanejad it's a second. It's fine. Zibanejad gets the goal unassisted because it was on a turnover. The Leafs then did try to answer. Lafreniere nearly buries one. Simmons nearly tied it up, and he drew a power play on that one. Nylander denied, and his second try hits the post. And then Spezza hits the post right after that. So the posts were definitely the friend of Shesterkin tonight too. They were there for him when his defense wasn't necessarily, or he just didn't save the puck, but it went off the posts instead. So we go to the second period, and early, 1 minute and 36 seconds, it's Bunting, who seems to be getting rave reviews right now from Toronto fans. Riley and Tavares with the assists, and for John Tavares, that is 200 points as a Toronto Maple Leaf. And it looked like the momentum was going to draw them. And not only that, but it kind of looked to me like maybe there could have been a goalie interference. Yes, the Rangers defenseman throws him in there. Yes, it likely doesn't get overturned, but I thought maybe Gallant would challenge it. He doesn't. So probably doesn't get overturned. Agreed. But I still thought, they could at least think about it. Maybe they did. Rooney then draws a power play. It doesn't score. The Rangers had their first line pressing. The curious thing with this was that Reeves was supposed to come off and didn't. So he was out there with a couple of first liners. Kerfoot then with a wraparound. That wouldn't go. The Leafs are winning the possession game. Like this, really, honestly. They have the puck a lot. Their shots are hitting the net. Rangers' shots aren't. Then there's a too many men on the ice call. The Rangers get a power play. They don't score on it. Nylander then had a chance that was blocked. The shots were 11-2 for the Leafs with 5 minutes left, and 2 shots is all the Rangers got in that second period. Riley was denied. Crowd really buzzing there. Leafs pressure. That draws a power play. They're not able to score on it. So lots of opportunities. Loud crowd in this game, but Shesterkin standing on his head. So third period, early press by the Leafs. Sandin was denied. Matthews as well. He was already up to 6 shots on the game. And I think he had 11 attempts at that point too. Tavares had a wraparound that was saved. Panarin's absolutely robbed at the net by Campbell. Rangers press at 8 minutes. Kreider had a chance, and Campbell defends it out before it even became a shot. Both teams loaded up their top lines in that second half of the period trying to get that goal, right? 8:14 left. The Rangers go to the power play. They were 0 for 2 to that point. Good setup. The power play had good movement. Could not get to the inside, and it was killed off by the Leafs. Leafs pressed with 5.5 minutes left, but we end up going to overtime. And the overtime was fantastic. One of the best overtimes I've seen in a while. Leafs control early. Matthews with a rush. He fires wide. Campbell then absolutely robs Kreider. Nylander was robbed. Matthews had another chance. Furious chances. Shesterkin comes out of the net to play it. And really, that was insane. Because if you're going to come out to play it, don't give the puck away. And he did. And then he recovers and he makes the save. Zibanejad was then robbed, but you can't rob all of them. Panarin gets the goal from Zibanejad at 3:48. That's Panarin's first of the year. The Rangers win it in overtime. They go to 2-1-1. Toronto falls to 2-1-1. Shots in this one, 12-10 Toronto in the first, 17-2 Toronto in the second, 9-7 Toronto in the third. In the overtime, the Rangers outshot them 4-3. So there were 7 shots in 3 minutes and 48 seconds. Great overtime. Final shots, 41-23 for Toronto. Power plays, they both go 0 for 3. The hits were 33-19 for the Rangers. So physical game by the Rangers. Shesterkin, 40 saves on 41 shots. He is their first star. Campbell, 21 saves on 23 shots at the other end. He had a pretty good game too. Believe he was the third star. So, yeah, excellent game. Really. Next up. So, Seattle looks like an expansion team right now. Coming into tonight, if you're a fan of the advanced stats and the possession numbers, they would tell you that Seattle's been a nightmare through the first 3 games coming into tonight. And yet I saw someone say, the odds are so long against Seattle. You've got to take Seattle if you're betting on this. And you would have lost your money. Grubauer versus Hart. Early Grubauer giveaway leads to a press by the Flyers. Donskoy had a break. Hart made the save there. Carter Hart had a really good game. Donato couldn't bury one. Good start for Seattle. They press at 6 minutes, and honestly, they had the lion's share of chances to that point. However, Lawton had a chance that was caught by Grubauer. Farabee creates a turnover. Now the Flyers press. Atkinson was denied by Grubauer. He can't deny them all. Giroux scores from Konechny at 9 minutes and 18 seconds. And once this happens, it just kind of snowballs from there. So the Flyers press for another, and you could see Seattle's guilty of puck chasing, getting out of their positioning, and just kind of running around at this stage. Giroux had a shot saved, more pressure, and Konechny would score from Yandel at 12 minutes and 12 seconds. So all of the momentum is with the Flyers. They're up 2-0. Hart had been good. He had denied Eberle prior to that 2-0 goal. Eberle had to wonder, what is it going to take for me to get a goal as a member of the Seattle team? Couturier then almost makes it 3-0, and not long after that, Broussard does. He scores, I believe this is his first as a Flyer, from Braun and Sanheim at 14:36, and the Flyers just keep pressuring. So they're up 3-0. They're not backing off. There's no mercy in any of this. With 15.2 seconds left, the Flyers get a power play. So that leads over into the second period. Second period, Kraken finish off the kill. Grubauer denies Lawton. The Kraken get a power play. That was a no. Their power play in this game was mostly awful. They had 2 shots in their first 3 power plays. So there's a number for you. Emotions were starting to rise in this game. You could see there was maybe some pride here for Seattle feeling hurt, but it doesn't stop Philly. Ellis scores his first as a member of the Flyers from Broussard and Farabee at 7 minutes and 10 seconds. So Farabee's off to a fast start yet again. Braun would then score from JVR and Lindblom at 8:49, and that was not a good goal. The Braun one, you really need a save. Now, you're already down 4-0, so it's not like, 5-0, now it's a backbreaker, but you need that save from Grubauer. Clearly, and Grubauer had a great season last year in Colorado, it's going to be more of a struggle in Seattle, clearly, because this is a team whose defense just kept letting the Flyers tee off. The Flyers have a very good attack. You cannot allow them to just tee off in front of the net like that. They're going to go in. And then that leaky one also meant that Drieger took over. Now, I'm also going to say, I mentioned this on Twitter, but I do not like the new goal song for Philly at all. It's a jingle that's from a commercial that I hate that commercial, and so now I'm reminded of it whenever they score, and it's bad. And I understand that, like, they wear orange, so maybe it's a citrus thing, because the song, It is the sound of citrus. It makes me think I need to eat a grapefruit, and I don't like grapefruit. So, yeah, things are getting ugly at this point. Things get punchy on the face-off after Drieger takes over. Kraken, there just wasn't anything out there for him. Really wasn't. Sealer and Alexiak had a fight. You end up with a power play for Seattle. They don't score. However, Soucy breaks the shutout. We still do not have a shutout in the NHL past week 1 here. McCann and Donskoy with the assists at 17-14, and then with 1:29 left, Seattle gets another power play. But again, it's ineffective. We go to the third period. The Flyers finish off the kill. They end up getting a chance. They end up getting a chance after power play for the Flyers. Or no, we have 1:29 left, so 30 seconds. They finish off the kill. All right, it's clock denominator. So yeah, they get a chance after power play for the Flyers. That was a no as well. The Kraken did press, but the thing was this. So when they did get shots on Carter Hart, there really wasn't traffic in front of the net. You need that traffic in front of the net to really threaten to get those goals, because if Carter Hart could see it tonight, he was saving it, right? Flyers had a 2-on-1 that misfires. However, Farabee would score from Atkinson and Brassard at 5:25. We then get Nate Thompson versus Nathan Bastian, so a battle of the Nates. My name first. No, it wasn't. So I'm older than you. I don't care. So that's how I picture the fight started. So that makes it 6-1, and then with 1:40 left, the Seattle gets their fourth power play. Doesn't matter. Philly wins this one 6-1. They go to 1-0-1. For the Kraken, 1-2-1. So Philly, really good game. They outshot Seattle in the first 18-6. Seattle actually outshoots them after that, 8-5 in the second, 8-6 in the third. Like I said, they weren't getting a lot of traffic though. Final shots 27-24 for Philadelphia. Power plays, they both go 0-4. 0-4 for Seattle, 0-2 for Philly. Hits were 26-25 for the Flyers. Grubauer, 15 saves on 20 shots, and then Drieger goes in and saves 6 out of 7. Hart, 23 saves on 24 shots. He's the first star. So that's 2 games, 2 first stars that are goaltenders. Did they go 4-4? No, they didn't. Next up. So this game is one of those ones where if you're a Flames fan, you have to be frustrated. At least a little bit. They should win this game. No offense to the Anaheim Ducks. They should win this game. And the Anaheim Ducks look like they're pretty good at playing spoiler this year. We'll see how long this lasts. But yeah, they look like they're ready to play spoiler a little bit. So we had Gibson versus Markstrom. John Gibson, I expect to have a back injury tomorrow because, again, he's carrying them on his back. Carrying an entire team like Gibson does wears him down over the season. And any Ducks fan will tell you that this happens. Early shots favored Anaheim. McTavish had a net drive. Hanifin defends on that. Post then for Tkachuk. The shots start to even up. And then it's Blake Coleman. Scores from Gaudreau at 7:43. And it was on a turnover. It was a nice fast break goal. And Coleman in his first game, because of course he was suspended for the game against Edmonton, which looking at how that turned out might have been the best for him. But just that game was just a mess, so it might have been better to set him out for that one. But yeah, Coleman, fast break, gets the goal. They're up 1-0. Then we get a scrum at the Ducks net after that. Ducks get a power play. Lucic was in the box. Lucic looked really cranky tonight, but then I thought about it, and I thought, Lucic looks cranky every night. So, shorthanded chance for Lindholm. Then we get 11 seconds of 4-on-4 before the Flames go to the power play. That all gets killed off. It's 5-on-5. And then Tkachuk with one of my favorite moments in hockey. I've watched hockey for a very long time. I have never seen a delay of game call prevented by a guy who's on the bench. And Tkachuk's called for interference, and you could see him going, no, because I don't think his stick touched the puck while it was over the ice surface. Maybe it did, and if it did, then that you can't do that. But he prevented it from going over the glass, and I thought it was really impressive hand-eye coordination. I think they should have given him a goal for that. I've never seen anybody do it. He does go to the box. This was Sean Avery level in terms of creating a way to get a penalty. I've never seen that. Never seen it. So Tkachuk's in the box. We end up with a shorthanded chance for Mangiapane, and in the back of my mind I'm thinking, well, Anaheim had an awful power play last year. Yeah, they're 3 for 9 this year so far, but how long can they keep that kind of pace up? They score. Cam Fowler from Shattenkirk and Terry at 15:56. Shattenkirk had a good game too. And Troy Terry, some nice moves tonight as well. And that was late in the power play, so it really looked like Calgary was going to kill it, and then it's a tie game. And that can be a real momentum blaster if you're the Flames, and a boost for Anaheim. Flames then get a power play, but in the last minute, the Flames nearly get one after that power play's done. And yeah, so we're close, but it's 1-1, but it feels like Calgary should be ahead. They're way ahead in shots. Second period, they're trying to keep that up. They nearly scored at 2 minutes, and Gibson was the reason that this was tied until Lindholm scores from Gaudreau and Anderson at 3:53, so that makes it 2-1 for Calgary. So now it looks like one of those games that Gibson's standing on his head, but eventually that dam bursts and teams are just going to beat Anaheim. This is what we've seen the last couple of years, right? And that goal was a result of lots of pressure and a very long shift. They had everybody tired on that shift, probably including Gibson. So the Ducks tried to answer, but they turned it over. Mangiapane was denied. More pressure by Calgary, so they're up, and they're getting all that pressure. Terry beats out an icing. Markstrom ends up having to hold on to the puck there. Lucic versus Delorier. Good long fight there. I would think the decision would go to Lucic, but you guys can let me know. Lindholm had a chance that was saved. Flames were in control, and things seemed to quiet down a bit in that second half. Some of the emotions seemed to come out of it, and it was more of a back-and-forth style of hockey. Zegras had a chance that was saved. That was after a 3-on-2 had fizzled out for the Ducks. The Ducks do press in the final 2 minutes, I think realizing we're only down by 1. This is anybody's game. So we end up going to the third period with it 2-1 for Calgary. At this point, they announced Mason McTavish, who exited the game in the second period, may just be precautionary, but he did not return in the third either. Monahan was stopped as the Flames press. Getzlaf had a chance on a giveaway. So you've got to watch those giveaways. Coleman nearly gets his second. Tkachuk with the net drive. Gibson making the saves. And they look like, game savers at this point. Flames press at 8 minutes. Dubé with a nice shot after that. Henrique had a wraparound chance. That shot was blocked. But Henrique gets an assist on a tying goal from Raquel at 12:55. And the Flames were on a line change when this takes place. So the Flames a little bit slow getting into position, and the Ducks make them pay, and they tie up the game. Flames, after that, tightened up. And it seemed like their confidence was kind of gone, and they weren't asserting themselves as much. The Ducks had a little more room out there. And so now the momentum, you can feel, is kind of swung in favor of Anaheim. Zegras nearly gets one. The Flames go to a late power play. During that power play, Lindholm makes a really nice shot block, but you could hear him yell when it hit his ankle and went out. That looked really painful, and he does exit the game. So we'll see with Lindholm. Fingers crossed he doesn't miss any time, but it looked like the kind of thing that it's an ankle. It could take him out for a week or two, right? Or more than that if it's a hairline. So let's hope there's no fracture involved. But man, that puck hit his ankle so hard. So we go to overtime. In the overtime, Drysdale hits the side of the net as Anaheim came out looking to steal this right out of the gate. Backlund had a chance. Shattenkirk actually defended him out on that one. And then Drysdale would score from Terry to end it in overtime. Anaheim wins this one 3-2 in overtime. They go to 2-1 on the season. The Flames drop to 0-1-1. And the shots tell the story. It was 16-7 Calgary in the first, 14-9 Calgary in the second, 12-8 Calgary in the third. But in the overtime, Anaheim actually outshoots Calgary 3-1. Final shots, 43-27 for Calgary. Power plays, Anaheim 1 for 2, Calgary 0 for 3. Hits were 14 apiece, so not an overly physical game. Gibson, 41 saves on 43 shots. He is the first star of the game. So that's 1, 2, 3 winning goaltenders, all of them first stars. Markstrom, 24 saves on 27 shots. And, I mean, you could say that they really needed that save on the Raquel shot. But, again, the Flames just really tightened up. And these things do happen. And it's still very early in the season. All right. Last game of the night is the crazy. The absolutely crazy that was Seattle. Seattle's over here allowing 6. Arizona's over here allowing 7. So it was St. Louis and Arizona. And this game looked like it was going to be a nice low-scoring affair. Honestly, they all looked like they could be low-scoring affairs, minus this one that looked like it could be ugly, and it was. But this one looked like it was going to be a nice defensive game, and I thought, Arizona, this is a good attempt by them. So it was Binnington versus Hutton, and they're wearing their white Kachinas at home because they got to sell those white Kachinas. And in the back of my mind, I'm thinking, if they have an absolutely disastrous season, Could that affect the sales of the Kachinas at all? Could it? So, I mean, like when Ottawa delayed their rebrand, I think part of it was to make sure that they were out of the worst of the rebuild before they did the rebrand. At least that was the rumor at the time. Like, we've got enough. We don't need to. But anyways, just throwing that out there. Keller was denied in the first minute. There was a delay of game call. Gives the Coyotes the power play, and they do score on it. It's Clayton Keller from Kessel and Gostisbehere at 5:26. Ghost is getting some points as a member of the Arizona Coyotes. Blues try to answer, and they do. It's Buchnevich. He scores from Kyrou at 7:05. Really nice pass, really nice goal. Tie game, and it looks like this one's going to be a fun game. Blues had momentum at the half. Bennington robbed Schmaltz on a rebound. Bennington was giving up some rebounds at that point in the game, but he was saving them as often as he could there. Roussel then passed one to the Blues. I don't recommend that. I don't think Antoine Roussel had a great game tonight. Louis Eriksson did, though. He had some good opportunities. And Beagle, we'll talk about Beagle. So the hits were ramping up by both teams at this point. Keller passes when he should have shot on one late in the period. Neighbors had a really good shift. Jake Neighbors is shift disturbing out there as well as he can. Hutton stops a Shen shot. Things get kind of scrummy. And then Buchnevich with a headbutt on Lawson Krause. And Krause had a bleeding nose. It wasn't like gushing all over, but still, it was a headbutt. So that's a game. He's out. So Buchnevich gets thrown out of the game at that point. Just, I'm not sure what he was thinking there. We talked about Rasmus Anderson the other night. That one didn't really connect. This one did. This one absolutely. There was no hand in between. This was straight up, and it's right on camera, and it's right in front of the ref. So, anyways, second period, the Coyotes get a 3-minute power play after the first 2 minutes are done. In that there was a penalty on that play as well to Krause. So when Krause comes out of the box, that's a 3-minute power play for the Coyotes. The Blues PK blocks off the middle, so they make sure that Arizona can pass it around the outside all they want. They're not getting the middle of the ice. Bortuzzo and Krause get unfriendly. So Krause was kind of a target for the rest of the game, and I'm not sure if it was something he said to the bench or if it was just the fact that he was the recipient of the headbutt, if they thought he was faking. Maybe they thought he was trying to make himself bleed, but whatever it was, St. Louis, not big fans of Lawson Krause tonight. So what we end up with is the Blues kill off that penalty, but right after that 3-minute penalty ends, they score. It's Lawson Krause from Kessel and Gostisbehere at 3:58. So there's Kessel and Gostisbehere again with the assists, and Lawson Krause with a goal. Nice to see him get on the board early in the season. Hopefully he's going to have a bounce back from what was a really rough year last year. Blues try to answer. Coyotes are shot blocking. Coyotes go back to the power play. Schmaltz couldn't bury one. That's killed off. But again, Arizona has a 2-1 lead. This is a pretty darn good game they're playing to this point. The Blues get a turn on the power play. Hutton absolutely robs O'Reilly. Ryan O'Reilly had an opportunity right in front of the net, and Carter Hutton denies him. And then it's a power play goal by Falk from Kyrou at 11 minutes and 10 seconds. And Antoine Roussel on the penalty kill drops down to block a shot, but he slid out. So what ends up happening is because he slides out too far, Falk just goes around him, and now it's 5-on-3, and he just puts it in. So it ends up making it so Roussel's kind of out of position on the play, right? And then at 12:46, Ryan Dzingel, I don't know if he forgot what team he played for, but horrible giveaway to Jordan Kyrou, and Kyrou goes thanks and puts it in the net. So that suddenly puts St. Louis into the lead. Near miss then for Tarasenko, and it's all St. Louis. It's all St. Louis. And then Kostin scores from Thomas and Falk at 14:40. So Falk with a goal and an assist, and all of a sudden it's 4-2. Becomes 5-2. Kostin, again, from Neighbors and Bortuzzo at 15:27. So that's Neighbors' first NHL point. Kudos to the kid on that one. So the Coyotes call a timeout. Got to call a timeout at this point. And what happens is the Blues rest up and Kyrou scores again. He scores from O'Reilly and Wallman at 16:17. And that's it. Carter Hutton's night's done, and Vejmelka goes in. Now, last game, people were like, it's Vejmelka, not Vejmelka. Problem is, this is the Arizona announcers, and the Arizona announcers are calling him Vejmelka as well. So, until I see it corrected on their broadcast, sometimes players come over and they Americanize their names, which I know that aggravates some people, but if that's the case here, I'll say Vejmelka. Understanding that, yes, the J would normally make it Vejmelka, and I may very well change it later. But for tonight, it's okay. He played well. Ve or Ve, he played well. So yeah, third period, because I stopped taking notes. At this point, I'm like, I'm done with notes. I'm almost to the bottom of the board. This game's done. That's 5 goals in 5 minutes. You can't, like, I understand. They're not doing well this year. This season's kind of a write-off. This is a home game. You allow 5 goals in 5 minutes. You're better off watching a team when you know they're not going to win, lose like 3-1, 4-2. Couple of fights, out-hit the other team, make them pay a little bit, make them work for it. But this was embarrassing. So Dzingel had a rush chance that missed early in the third. Coyotes get a power play. They don't score on it, but Christian Fischer gets his first goal of the season from Keller and Gostisbehere. So at 5:25, the same 2 guys get another assist. So they have 3 assists in this game. And then Lyubushkin scores from Boyd and Kessel. Or no, yeah, that's Keller. Keller and Gostisbehere. So that's Gostisbehere's 3rd assist. Keller's 1st assist. Kessel's 3rd assist comes on the Lyubushkin goal. Boyd had the assist there too. Now, that goal may be changed by the time this goes live to Boyd's goal. May have been Boyd tipped it in front of the net. Either way, at 8:23, it becomes 6-4. And I'm thinking, okay, it's possible I'm going to need the little board. It's possible that Arizona comes back and ties this because, maybe St. Louis is going to be, choking a little bit. Maybe gripping the stick a little bit harder than they need to, and things are going to get tighter. Nope. Barbashev scores from Thomas and Tarasenko at 12:25, and it's a set play off of a face-off that was lost by Beagle. And I was kind of surprised Beagle lost that face-off to Thomas. So I was like, well, this is why the Canucks trade these guys off. And if you're Arizona's general manager, you may look at tonight's result and go, all right, we're that much closer to Shane Wright. So St. Louis wins this 7-4. They go to 2-0. For Arizona, 0-2-1. And this is a game they're just going to want to forget. The shots in this one were 10-7 Arizona in the first, 16-7 St. Louis in the second, 10-9 St. Louis in the third. Final shots 33-26 in favor of the Blues. Power plays, St. Louis only had 1, and they scored on it. Arizona had 4 and scored on 1. Hits were only 15-12 St. Louis. It felt like there was more hits than that. I'm not sure what they were recording there. Binnington, 22 saves on 26 shots. There were some pretty good goals there by Arizona. Hutton saves 15 out of 21. Vejmelka saves 11 out of 12. Or Vejmelka saves 11 out of 12. And I think the argument can be made that the next time Arizona plays, the rookie goaltender should be the one in net. So it's possible that this early in the season already we're seeing Carter Hutton, who was the starter, maybe ends up being the backup. Or if your team is looking to finish at the bottom, maybe you play Hutton more. We'll see, right? Let me know your thoughts in the comment section below regarding these 4 games. Don't forget to hit like and subscribe if you're browsing your way through. You just happened upon this video. Thank you guys so much for watching, for all your support. And remember, tomorrow night's got 11 games, so it's going to be busier. Rest up. Thank you guys so much for all your support. I will talk to you again soon.